One. Welcome everyone to otakusandgeeks.com and Red Eyes Entertainment. Jerrell is here and Justin from Otakus and Geeks. We are going to be doing a joint review of
Yeah.
WWE Royal Rumble 2025. We got a lot to cover, boys.
Yes. Yeah. As
Woo!
always, talking about the wrestling. Yeah. No, you're right. I was very excited. Like the Royal Rumble is probably like one of my more favorite pay-per-views, even more so than like WrestleMania.
Mm.
And there's always gonna be the good with the bad. But yeah, like you said, we gonna talk about it.
Yeah, let's go right into this. We're gonna
Wait,
kick it off
hold on.
with the
Can I say something real quick before
yeah.
we even get started? And I said this on Twitter. If you have a 2 hour, what if there's no pre-show matches? Why do we have a 2 hour pre-show? I do not need 2 hours of you talking about nothing. And then what makes it worse? I can okay, even if they try to justify it by saying, "Oh, the pre-show, it's to get people revved up to want to see the actual pay-per-view." They show the package videos of everything that they're going to cover, and then once the show starts, we see the exact same package, and I had to watch this thing 3 times.
Mm.
And this whole Royal Rumble by the numbers, I swear to God, that shit needs to die.
Yes.
Like I'm saying, it's like if you're gonna give me a 2 hour pre-show, for the love of God, give me one match. Just just give me one match. 2 hour pre-show.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing about that. The 2 hour pre-show thing, honest to God, especially when you're running the same
Yeah,
packages over and over, it's
yeah.
really just a waste of time. I've never been a big fan of the whole analyst thing of, oh, what do you think? Because this is gonna sound so controversial. You're treating it like it's NFL and NBA, and it's not.
Yeah,
It's not. It's at the end of the day, we all know wrestling's predetermined. It's 100% real
yeah,
when it
yeah.
comes to the action and everything else, because those people get hurt. But when it comes to the storyline, things like that, we know it's predetermined. The whole analyst thing of, oh, I think this, and or it's kind of like, look, I get you trying to give it a more sports feel, and this is where I agree with Vince. This is sports entertainment.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Just focus on the entertainment part. Or like Jerrell said, have matches. You could have did the Wyatt Six and Karrion Cross for the
Yeah.
pre-show. And I'm gonna get into Karrion Cross not being in the Rumble in a
You could have
minute
you
down
could
the
have
line.
had, I mean, you could have had like Shinsuke Nakamura defend his title instead of like creeping on people like like in the
Yeah.
locker room. I mean, I don't necessarily mind because you're right, they're completely trying to rip off the NFL. I don't mind that per se because one thing I do like about the pre-show before the pay-per-view starts, I like hearing from Big E. I like hearing
Mm.
from Wade Barrett. I don't mind Jackie Redmond. I like when they talk to the wrestlers in the locker room. Because the thing is, if you're going to do something like that, give me something I'm not normally going to see. So
Exactly.
if you're backstage and you just randomly bump into Bianca and Naomi, talk to them. I like those interactions. Or if things happen that sets up, something that might happen later. Because like you said, if you're going to do it, make it entertaining. Like do
Yes.
something entertaining. But you don't need it for 2 hours. You don't need it for
No,
2 hours.
not one.
Like the show started, like if we're counting the pre-show, the show started at 4 p.m.
Hmm.
And if we're counting the pre-show and the post-show, the show started at 4 p.m. and didn't end until midnight. And I said, how is it like the show? Because usually these pay-per-views started at 8 o'clock. This pay-per-view started at 6 p.m. It was 11:45, and I was like, why am I still watching wrestling? Like, how did this show start at 6 o'clock and I'm still here?
Longest Royal Rumble, I think for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and this is where, like, I will argue, how SummerSlam is going to be 2 days. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Maybe the Royal Rumble can be 2 nights, one Royal Rumble for the women, and then one Royal Rumble for the men for night one and night two. And it gives it a little bit breathing room, gives people a lot more time to showcase the storylines, especially the mid carders can get a little bit more time because we only had two matches besides the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
In
besides
the
the Rumble.
old days, not to be that old guys, back in my days, watching the Hogan era and the Attitude era, we actually had a full card
Yeah, we had
and the
like
Royal
four, at
Rumble.
least four matches, you know.
Yeah, now it's because, with the inclusion of Women's Royal Rumble, as they should have one,
Yeah,
maybe that instead of SummerSlam being 2 nights, the Royal Rumble should be 2 nights, just Royal Rumble
yeah.
WrestleMania.
Man, I don't have a
SummerSlam, I
problem with
don't
that.
understand why that's 2 nights still.
Yeah.
I don't get
And
that.
we don't even get like women's heavyweight championship matches at the Rumble anymore.
No,
Not because we don't have room for them, but since there was never enough women. Because I'm also a fan of, if you're the Intercontinental or the United States champion, you should not be in the Royal Rumble.
thank you.
But I let it slide for the women because I was like, well, shoot, you probably need Chelsea and Lyra because you don't have enough women like to
Yeah,
make third. So like I give the women a slight pass for that. But when Braun Breaker came out, I was like, why? I
I
was
agree.
like,
And
why?
Shinsuke too.
Yeah, I'm like the man has gold. Like, why are you here? Like, why are you here? But
Like, are you going to do a double champion? Are you planning to fuse the IC in the main
yeah,
heavyweight championship?
and you
It
know we're
made
not
no
doing that.
sense.
Yeah, you know we're not doing that.
But
And then,
let's get
yeah, yeah,
into it.
yeah,
So the first card of the night, ladies and gentlemen, first match was the women's Royal Rumble match, and the number one and number two was Io Sky and Liv Morgan, and they were definitely. I thought they were going to be the Iron Women of this particular women's Royal Rumble, and for the majority they were until gotta give Roxanne her flowers. She did her thing last night. Roxanne Perez was the true Iron Woman of last night. Um, what did you think overall? Like for me, I I thought the women's Royal Rumble was good, minus the ending, which we will have a
yeah, yeah. We'll get to
whole
get to the
list.
end.
But I think the highlight obviously was Miss Bliss. That was the pop of the night.
Yeah.
You thought it was Austin coming out there, like that building erupted for the goddess. And I honestly, what who did you have to pick? I know. For people on your channel, they already know what your predictions. But who did you have to pick? I wanted Io to win the
Yeah,
Rumble.
my pick to win that was either Bianca or Naomi,
Mm,
because they were the only two people that had a legitimate storyline. I mean, Roxanne Perez is, like I said, she did have the Iron Woman spot, but I don't. It's weird because I don't want to use the term she didn't earn it. I feel like she got it, but it kind of felt like, because Roxanne is so small and because she's new, I just feel like she lasts that long because nobody paid any attention to her.
come on.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it felt. It was almost like they eliminated everybody. Then Charlotte turned around, was like, "Oh, who's this bitch?" Um, but I had Naomi and beyond. I thought Jade was gonna show up to further a Naomi, storyline, but unfortunately, like, because when you look at who the champions are, because that plays a part in who the winner is. Like when you look at the
Yeah,
champions, that kind of tells you who the winner is going to be, because it's like, it's Tiffany Stratton and it's Rhea Ripley. As much as I didn't want it, I was like, it's probably going to be Charlotte. I was like,
yeah.
it's going to be, because it's like you're not going to have Bailey win again. Like,
Honestly, Bailey going back to back would have been great for her, and
yeah,
I would have actually preferred that. But the minute that I realized there hasn't been a woman going back to back yet in the Rumble, I was like, they're gonna give it to Charlotte because she has to be
yeah,
the
yeah.
first
They
of
give everything
everything.
a shot. And then it's like, would you have really wanted to see Bailey versus Rhea Ripley? I mean, like, she just fought Tiffany, and she lost to Tiffany.
Anything would have been better than what we got. Honestly, I would have
Yeah,
chose
yeah.
any, and I mean any woman, even B Fab, if she won. Yeah, it would have been left
And
field, but it would have been something so new that
yeah,
people would have been like, "What the hell is Triple H planning?" I'm pissed, but
see,
I'm
yeah, right.
intrigued. It's different.
Yeah, you're intrigued because it's something different.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how the men's rumble was, but and see, even about that, and to my point about the middleweight champions not being in the rumble, I feel like that's why Lyra and Chelsea came out back to back. Like,
hmm
they were like, what, 3 and 4.
yeah,
Um, but when the first group of women came out, and then B Fab came out, and then Lash Legend came out, when B-Fab and Lash Legend are in the ring, you realize how small the rest of the division actually is.
Yeah.
Because like when B-Fab and Lash Legend were standing toe to toe, I was like, look at these. I was like, look at these two Amazonian women surrounded by the lollipop kids. Because I was just like, damn, like these girls are short. These women are really short. And they did NXT. I mean, I don't know how much NXT you watch, but I
Mm.
feel like they did Jada Parker dirty because if Jada Parker would have still had her OTM, her out the mud, like theme music, because they gave her new theme music.
Yeah,
If she,
Finn too.
yeah, yeah, Finn. But see, I kind of like Finn's, but if Jada Parker would have came out to the OTM theme music, she would have got a bigger reaction.
Yeah, and that's another, and I'll put that in my cons for later when we do our wrap up. But that's one of the issues I had is like you're using the Rumble to debut some people had new music that we haven't heard of, and I'm like,
Yeah,
me and Des was watching, and we like, yo, who is this? And
yeah,
then when
exactly.
we
Yeah,
see the prompt, we was like, oh, but
yeah,
why don't you just stick with the old? You debut the new
yeah,
music later. You don't do this for the Rumble and
yeah.
then
You don't do
have
it for
people guessing
yeah.
who they are.
Because it undermines the fact that people actually do watch NXT. Because
Yeah,
I guarantee you, if she would have hit the OTM theme music, the crowd would have the stack would have blown like off because everybody likes Jada Parker.
yeah.
But I don't know if she got a low key call up or if it was because Dakota Kai got hurt because I heard like they flew in at least 4 or 5 girls to fill in case like in case other people got hurt. So I don't know if she took Dakota Kai's spot or if she was like always supposed to be in it because we had Roxanne who's basically going to get called up at this point because
I
she's
think
she's
that's a
yeah
Bailey a
yeah
Bailey a Bailey Mania match.
yeah, because she's a two-time NXT Women's Champion. She had the belt for like 50 years. There's no reason for her to stay on NXT. So
No,
you already know you already know she's gone. I mean, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, they pop up on everyone's show. Like whenever somebody says number one contendership for the tag team titles, like they like they're there. Like they just pop up there. So that's a foregone conclusion. But Jakara wasn't in the match. So we had Julia, then we had Stephanie, and I feel like they only introduced them for the indie pop, but also
yeah,
because I don't think the two of them are going to stay in NXT that long anyway. Like they're
mm-mm.
probably only going to be there for 1 year, like 1 year max. So they wanted to like to try to like get people used to seeing their faces now. But there's about 5 girls right now that just based on the Royal Rumble, like the women that they used, I'm just like these chicks are most like before after WrestleMania, those are the 5 girls that are probably going to get like brought up to the main roster because SmackDown needs more women on their roster.
We might as well talk about it before, so we could get to the tag team match and that brutal ladder match. So Charlotte ends up. Let me just give you a quick brief. So
Ooh.
Nia Jax eliminates everybody who everybody wanted to win. A
Yeah,
whole people from Bianca, Naomi, Io.
yeah.
She eliminated half of the favorites, the
Plus like
favorite pick.
9 people.
So then, Charlotte and Roxanne eliminate Nia Jax. Liv was eliminated as well. So it's down to Roxanne and Charlotte Flair. Me and Dez are going, God, do not do this. Do not do this. Do not go the same direction Vince will go. And they did. And we were
Yeah.
just like,
Once I saw it was Roxanne, Charlotte, and Nia, I got up and went into the kitchen.
you already
I
knew
was
what
like,
was going to happen.
yeah, I was like, well, it's snack time because that and I swear to God, like as pissed as I am that she won the Royal, and then I saw her post game interview and it just pissed me off even more. But if I pray, I pray to the wrestling gods out there, please allow Charlotte Flair to pick Tiffany Stratton. I
Man, bro.
promise you, when she picks Tiffany Stratton, I will not, I absolutely will not watch that match at WrestleMania.
Honestly, if Roxanne won, Roxanne versus Tiffany, wasn't Tiffany in
Yeah,
NXT as well, right?
yeah, yeah,
You have a story
yeah,
right
yeah,
there. There's no story with Tiff and Charlotte besides on interviews, Tiffany saying she would like to wrestle Charlotte Flair. Oh, really? Well, let's let Charlotte win the Royal Rumble. Let's
Yeah.
give Tiff a dream match. You can do that on a SmackDown episode. Like
Yep.
there's no story around that. There's a story obviously between Charlotte and Ripley, but even when they interviewed Ripley during the post thing, she was just like, honestly, she said, if Charlotte chooses me, tell her to refer to WrestleMania 39. It's over. I beat her already. I'm not trying to do that anymore. Even though she's in character, that's
Yeah.
probably some legit shit too. Like no one, and that's the thing too. It's not refreshing. This
No.
is just setting, and I get it. She's 16 right now, right? She's going to be 17 time before John Cena. She's gonna break Flair's record before John Cena breaks Flair's record, and that way the record stays within
Yeah,
Flair.
yeah,
It's
Flair,
just
Flair.
the passing of a Flair. So it's kind of like John Cena will have to be 18, so he has to beat Charlotte and Ric Flair. So for me, it's just like you're giving her all these accolades. Look at it. Wasn't she the first Hell in a Cell? Was first woman in Hell in a Cell with I think it was
Yeah, it was
Sasha
Sasha.
Banks, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So you got that accolade. You're the first woman who main evented WrestleMania at WrestleMania 35. I was
And,
there.
and she
We
got
left.
shoehorned in, and she got shoehorned into that one.
Yeah. We left early. It was getting too damn cold. So we heard when we was walking out, we heard Becky's music, like, oh, okay, Becky won. It was getting too cold out there. But okay, so she first woman, she's part of the first woman to main event WrestleMania. She's now the first woman to win the Royal Rumble twice. She's a 16-time champion, soon to be 17. You have given this woman all the accolades she can possibly break. All she needs now is to be an intercontinental champion, United
Ah,
States champion, to be another Grand Slam champion as well.
and
It's like how
and
many
even
times we're gonna go to Charlotte Flair World? There's
yeah,
so
and,
much stories you could do.
and even in her post interview, one of the reporters said they were like, "Oh, the last time you were here, there weren't as many championships. Now we have two new belts." And I was like, "Lady, stop putting that thought in her head." Because like you said, now it's like and when the reporter said that, Charlotte actually had that look on her face, like, "Oh, that's," and I was like, "Dear God, no." I was like, for the love of God, no. Like,
What's done is done, and the
yeah,
only thing, and this will transition to the second part, the second match. I felt bad for the second match because the win disappointed people so much.
yeah, yeah.
It looked like the whole arena was deflated. That Johnny Gargano, DIY, and the Machine Guns put on a good match. But it just seemed like the crowd was dead. I was just like, damn, Charlotte sucked the whole energy out.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because even me, like mentally, like I kind of checked out during the tag during the tag match. Also, like I'm not even gonna lie. And when did it become? At what point was it 2 out of 3 falls? Did they just make that up? And I do not remember them announcing
Yeah,
this.
they did.
When? Like, when did
Um,
it become two out of
Before the
three?
match began, the video package, and I think pre-show they said it was 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh, because yeah, that so basically they can't they made that up at the last second. Because
Most
I because I was just like, when did this happen? One thing I will say, the fake tag spot was actually genius.
brilliant.
Yeah, like I like the fake tag spot. And as much as Jim Cornette hates Johnny Gargano, you do gotta give him some credit on that. Um, I mean, I knew DIY was gonna win. They're another group. They're another persons that have new theme music that I don't like. Um, like but I
Yeah,
understand they're heels now, so the other one doesn't match anymore. But I'm more interested in the Profit situation
yeah,
because you can't say it's a heel turn because they basically beat up everybody. And if we're doing the whole thing where they legitimately want the smoke, regardless if you're a face or if you're a heel, they need to go back. They need to go back to the new theme that they had before they went back to the original. Because they actually have a theme called "We Want the Smoke."
yeah,
Use that like, and then like they used it for like 2 3 weeks, and then they stopped using it because remember they were trying to turn them heel with Lashley.
yeah,
And when they originally wanted them healed, they had this new theme song, like "We Want the Smoke." But then when I guess when the fans was like, "Nah, we don't want y'all to be, to be heels," they went back to the to the other theme song.
Yeah.
Bring the smoke song back. If you if
Yeah,
we're gonna
it
make
doesn't because when they played their original theme song,
it's like
I was
now it
just
doesn't
like,
sound right.
this doesn't fit
Yeah,
them.
it doesn't fit anymore. So and it's like you've already seen they've kind of like taken BFAB out of the equation,
Yeah,
so bring back We Want the Smoke. And if it's a triple threat tag team match
at
between the
Mania
Machine Guns, yeah, hey, I'm fine with that. Like I'm definitely fine with that. But like I said, I didn't think the match needed to be 2 out of 3 falls, to be honest with you. But
time.
I didn't have a problem with it overall.
It was a good match. For me and Des enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good match. I just felt bad for them because it seemed
Yeah.
like the crowd was just so deflated and they were busting their ass. Like you said, that fake tag spot was the highlight of it. But they were really bringing it, especially Gargano, especially when he did Project Champa. That was a
Yeah, yeah,
vicious
yeah,
one. This
yeah.
I was like, ooh, that was just a brutal. But I felt that maybe that should have probably kicked off the show, then do the women's, and then do Cody because obviously, if you had Charlotte win, yeah, the fans would be pissed. But if you bring Cody and Kevin
Yeah,
Owens
yeah,
right
yeah.
after that,
They
the
get
energy is
over it.
gonna go back up.
Yeah, they get over it real
So,
quickly.
I thought it should the card should have been a little bit differently there because they got put in a bad spot because they already know Charlotte was gonna win. People were gonna be pissed, and
Can we
you
get some
know,
more? Can we get some more tag teams on Raw? Because the SmackDown tag team division looks really good,
yeah. I
and
mean,
I'm just
who we
like,
got for Raw? We got New Day,
yeah, we got the.
LWO.
Are we really counting that though? Because they never wrestled. Like
That's true.
Joaquin and the other guy, they're with them on Raw, but they wrestled on NXT.
And
Yeah,
Judgment Day.
but I don't even count that anymore. Like half of them are injured.
Yeah.
So it's like, so we got the War Raiders, we got the New Day, and who else? Oh, Akam and Razor, the authors of Pain, wherever they are.
Oh, and A Town Down Under, which I
Oh
thought they were
shit.
gonna be. I thought they were
It,
gonna be in the Rumble.
nah.
Didn't they say he was entering?
Oh,
I
no.
swore. Folks, if you're watching this, am I having a Mandela effect? Because
Wait,
I
when would
sworn,
they have said that?
I'm pretty. I swear, I saw A Town Down Under claim they were gonna be in the Rumble. I swear. Maybe I'm losing it. Maybe I'm mistaking it. Maybe it was a 2K WWE 2K promo that I saw. I don't know. But let's get into which probably was the match of the night out of the two, obviously. You want to talk elevating the brutality of a ladder match. We've all seen some ladder matches, but this
Yeah.
one is the first time I legit thought someone literally died in front of me. I was like, they sold it that good.
Yeah.
Cody, put some respect on Cody and Kevin Owens' name. That was some hell of some cell jobs. These spots, me and Des were just like, yeah, I think he's dead. Like he legit might be dead right here. Well, I'm gonna let you go first. What do you think of this championship match?
See, I have multiple thoughts on it. So I liked it for the brutality. And to another Jim Cornette point, because we don't have ladder matches every single Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. If you want to see a ladder match on every single show, you gotta check out the UWL for that one.
Hey,
But
we don't do ladder matches every show, by the way. Keep going.
but it made it more interesting because since I hadn't seen one in so long, I almost forgot, like of how like vicious it could be. But, and this might be an unpopular opinion, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't excited because I knew there was no way on God's green earth that Kevin Owens was walking. The fact that the winged eagle belt was being hoisted. I'm like, why? Why are we putting this belt up here? Like, he is not a real. It's like everybody's like, oh, Kevin, you're delusional. You're delusional. You're not the champ. You're not the champ. Then why are we feeding into his delusion by putting his belt on putting his belt on the damn rope? But I mean, the Alabama slam, the selling of the Alabama slam, like the way Cody sold the package Power Driver at Saturday Night's Main Event, and then Kevin Owens selling the Alabama Slam going through the ladder, it's bringing back the appreciation of like specific moves, you know. And me personally, outside of Mercedes Monet and the Hurt Syndicate, I don't watch AEW. I'm not really a fan of AEW because I like it when someone gets steamrolled. I like the fact that they don't get up because this way, when people do the moves, it makes you be like, it makes you twitch. Like
Yeah.
even Penta, when Penta does his move, like when Penta was in Lucha Underground, he was beating up women.
Yeah,
he
his
was
match
beating
with Eo's still fire.
Yeah, like he beat up, but it's like, when they were doing stuff, they weren't just like, okay, I kick you in the face, you pop up. It's like, no, people were like, people were dying, and I miss that. I miss that aspect of wrestling. So I appreciate that they brought that back, but it wasn't like, it was never a doubt in anyone's mind that Cody was. I mean, having the Sami Zayn thing, it was a nice sprinkle, but I don't think it meant anything at the end of the day.
Yeah, because he was
So
just kind of like that's the only disappointing part about this for me was just like, okay, I kind of wanted him to at least attack Cody
yeah,
after the match
yeah, or at
because
least confront him.
yeah, because Cody, like, I'm pretty sure you saw the memes on X and or even on Instagram or whatever, where people were just like, "Yo, Cody did some real healer shit by going over there with the belts, the gloat."
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, when he
He,
was on the
I did the
when he
same thing
came
though.
to the table and went like this while Kevin Owens just bleeding out. And I was like, "Yo, Sami Zayn should have knocked his ass out right there because that's your best friend bleeding, and this dude up here going." Yeah, I won. I won. I was like,
which,
yeah, I'm
which,
like,
which Cody should, because based on everything that Kevin Owens did up to this point, this is the point I made in the beginning of
yeah,
the review. Like, that's exactly what you do. Because if I was Cody Rhodes and he did all that, yes, I'm standing on top of the announce desk. I'm holding up both belts, the Wing Eagle included. I'm laughing in his face and I'm mushing Sami Zayn out the way. But it it would have brought something to that if Sammy would have actually just pushed Cody and been like, "Hey, get out of here," you've done. But the fact that he didn't even do that, it was almost like the way it was set up, like Cody was trying to get a reaction
yeah.
from Sami Zayn, and he wasn't really trying to give him one. And then if you're Kevin Owens, it's like, can you really be mad at Sam? Because this has to go somewhere. Is Kevin going to be mad at Sammy? But then it's like, how can you be mad because he was there for you? It's like, are you going to be mad at Cody? Cody didn't actually do anything aside from a little taunting, which Kevin's been doing since day one. So it's interesting. And Cody said out his own mouth, he said, "I got to hurry up and get past Kevin Owens because I got WrestleMania to look forward to." So now they just made me feel like they're done with this whole thing completely anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm curious to see where Kevin Owens is going to go from here because unfortunately for him, it's now 6 times he's challenged for the belt at the Royal Rumble and hasn't won. Um, and regardless how I feel at this point, the man deserves that world title run one more time because the spots that this guy does, he has put his body on the line. He has given so much to that company. At least let this man have a 6 month run with the title.
Yeah.
He's too good at what he does.
But
And the
now's
spot that
just
I'm
not the
talking
time.
about, folks, that I thought someone literally died. It was not the Alabama Slam. It was Kevin Owens package suplex that he does where he
Yeah.
turns it
Mhm.
and Cody just boom. And he just went like
Yeah.
he was like, oh. I was like, Cody sold the hell out of that. I was just like, yo, is he dead? Because they were
Yeah.
checking pulse and everything. I was like, all right, this is because it was a hard land, especially the back body drop one too on the
Yeah.
edge of that ladder with Kevin Owens. I was
Yeah, I
like,
saw.
yo,
Yeah, like that one. I thought he broke his spine.
yeah, I
Like,
was just like, okay, them dudes, they're injured. Like something.
mhm.
Even if the ladder, not to break, the illusion of even though ladders are specially made, because we all know, because if this was like the legit ladder, no one's surviving a ladder match like that,
No,
folks.
no,
Let's
no,
be
no,
honest.
not at
It
all.
has to be custom made with certain materials and things like that. It has to be some type of padding or something because otherwise these men would be dead. Let's be honest.
I'm,
Just
su-
the,
I'm
just
surprised they even let them do it. It's like
yeah,
Mania is right around the corner. It's like, why would you even have them do a ladder match?
well, it's the stadium. Well, it's the stadium show,
Hmm.
and we rarely get those ladder matches. It's rare to see
Still,
ladder matches like that, and
WrestleMania.
yeah, like unless it's like Money in the Bank, it's like where you only really see the ladder match now. So it's a rarity, especially in WWE, to see that classic singles one-on-one ladder match for a belt. I mean, NXT will do it or things like that, and AEW does it all the damn time, like it's water. But it's for WWE to have a championship match of that caliber for that for the richest prize in the business in a ladder match was great. I was hoping, like I was telling Des, I was like, yo, if this match was anything like Cody and Sammy Guevara when Sammy did that amazing cutter on Cody off the ladder, I was like, yo, it's gonna be a banger. It was just as good, and those spots was just as amazing. But like, I have to agree with Jerrell here. It was a good match. Um, the feud. I don't know where Kevin Owens goes from here. Maybe Randy. When Randy comes back, maybe
Yeah,
that's just
I forgot about Randy.
yeah. Because I thought Randy was gonna be a surprise entry in the Rumble.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. It was like, okay, Randy could come back, but we got influencers. But I'm gonna get to that because we're about to head into the Rumble. Um, but my last thoughts for that is particular. Like it was an excellent match. One of the most brutal ladder matches I've seen in recent memory in a long time, especially just the falling, the just brutality of it all. The emotion was there, the story was there, and Cody really just solidified himself as a worthy WWE champion in my eyes. But after this particular match, now the main event, ladies and gentlemen,
No
the
pun intended.
men's Royal Rumble. This was a star-studded stack Royal Rumble, and to me, honestly, I'll be honest with you, Jerrell, I felt this was the most unpredictable Royal Rumble in a very long time. And by the ending, I stood corrected and I stood like, yes, it definitely was unpredictable. I mean, just the name of names that we had, the heavy hitters that everybody thought would win: CM Punk, Roman Reigns, John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Logan Paul was even considered to be winning of this Rumble. But at the end, we got Jay Uso. But there was a whole bunch of other stuff that we got to get into with this.
I,
Jarrell, first of
well,
all, did you like the winner? Were you upset as you were with the women's result?
no, it. I couldn't be mad for the shock value because everything that we got with the men's rumble was the complete opposite with the women's. So there was no way I could be mad at that. And we've been watching. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been watching wrestling since like the 80s.
Yeah, been
Like
watching since those four.
yeah, like I've been watching wrestling since 1988, like 89. So I feel like at this point, if you can do something in wrestling that surprises me, like that I don't see coming, you've done a good job. And I definitely did not have Jay Uso on my bingo card. CM Punk was he was my pick to win. He was definitely my pick to win the Royal Rumble. I mean, he could still go to WrestleMania, but I thought it was hilarious when the match started that they started with
Penta and Ray.
with Penta, but that's not what made it funny. What made it funny to me was you start the match with the two Mexicans, and then the next person that comes out is Chad Gable.
Yes. The one who's been challenging these luchadors.
like you have two Mexicans in the ring, and then here comes American Made. I was dying. Like I said, this has the undertones, the undertones here. Like and but they did get like they got the mid card guys out of the way, and but because it was supposed to be like a star-studded rumble, they kept the stars for like the second half of the
Yeah.
rumble, and they got like the non mid card guys like out the way first. And I like Carmelo Hayes. I
I'm
think
so disappointed what they're doing with him. I get this is kind of his paying his dues phase of, learning, this is, paying because a lot, let's be honest, a lot of the stars that we had today, they didn't just start off hot. They took a lot of L's. He
Yeah,
took a lot of. They did the job. You know, to use wrestling terms, they did the job. I just I just want him to have a little bit of wins from time to time.
yeah,
Or, yeah, he has some moments in the Rumble, but I would like him to get a little bit more wins. Like, I'm not saying give him his NXT push already, but at least make him, because anytime I see him on SmackDown, I'm just like, all right, so who's Melo losing to this week?
yeah, yeah,
It's like, okay, he lost to Jimmy Uso. All right. But did we even play into him and Jimmy going at it at the Rumble?
yeah.
It's like you didn't even continue that particular
Mhm.
story.
It's like he's just in limbo.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, he's a good, and this is like the worst thing you can say about a wrestler. He's a good hand at this
Yeah,
point. It's
yeah,
just like you're looking, it's like he's being used as that wrestling, like, oh, he's just good to put on good matches. And right now we don't have nothing to do. Like how they did Dolph. Like
yeah,
Dolph was
yeah.
excellent. If
Here,
Dolph had stories and stuff, Dolph Ziggler could have been, in that echelon. But it's like
here's
that's what
how
I'm
you.
worried about. Melo. It's just like they're just gonna use him as a good hand until they find something really for him to sink his teeth into, or they're just waiting for Trick to come up. But I don't also want them to just be a tag team
Yeah, I don't
either.
want them to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's how you save. Here's how you save Carmelo. At WrestleMania, he goes one on one with AJ Styles because him wrestling AJ Styles was how that's how AJ got hurt.
yeah.
And I was legitimately surprised when AJ came back because after the injury he took, I was like, yo, he ain't coming back no time soon. So the fact that he came back from that, kudos to him. Thank God he came back with his original theme music.
Yes.
Thank God. But if they play into the storyline like, oh, Mello, like you tried to end my career, you're the one that injured me. If you get AJ Styles versus Carmelo Hayes at WrestleMania, even if that opens the show, I dare like anybody to follow that afterwards.
I agree.
So to me, that would be the Mania match.
And AJ looks like he's back in his prime too, because he
Yeah,
was he was good
I
for the
forgot he was
time that
hurt.
he was in. For someone who had that major injury, I was like, oh, this is looking like AJ's debut. Came
Yeah.
in his debut clothes too, like something very similar.
Well,
My
remember,
only disappointment with AJ is they did not play to his history in that Rumble. There should have been
yeah.
a shot of him staring down John Cena after their three-match classics.
Mm-hmm.
A CM Punk stare down would have just blew the
Yeah.
freaking roof
Mm-hmm.
off that place. Like they ain't teased nothing for AJ, and AJ
No.
is in that same conversation with Seth, Roman,
Yeah.
Cena, Punk,
He was in
and
that. He was in
argue
that
bell to
final group.
bell. You might say he's better than all of them.
Yeah,
To be
he was in
honest with
that
you,
final group.
yes.
He was
You
in that
would
final.
think they would have played to that, like, yo, AJ Styles is in, like, because he's beaten them all. Maybe, like, I don't think he had a match with Punk ever, but he has had some classes with all those guys in that ring. Like, who could forget him reversing Seth Rollins stomp into a Styles clash?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like he is 100% the best.
Yeah.
And that's my only disappointment. Is like, yeah, he's back, but you didn't play to that stare down. Like me, I was telling Des, was like, yo, they need to do a stare down with him and Cena. This is Cena's last run. Let's get that last match with him and AJ. Hell, if even AJ's his last opponent, if there's anything of the caliber of the
Yeah.
three matches from the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, that's a hell of a send off. And then AJ gets the reputation of being everybody's last match person.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah. Right.
you know,
Instead of him taking.
but
But like they said, you don't want none.
yeah,
You don't want
I felt like that was a very missed opportunity to play off of, and another missed opportunity too. Jacob did good, but he should have been in there as long as Roman. He should have been the one to throw out Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I was gonna say he should. Yeah, he should have either eliminated Roman or he should have been eliminated by Roman.
Yeah,
Like I get that they gave Strowman his revenge, you know. And I'm not even mad that Strowman came back so quickly after getting his skull bashed in and bleeding from the mouth because if you're supposed to be the monster among men, then
you're
yeah,
gonna
like
heal.
yeah, then it's like you're gonna heal and you're gonna come back. But it was just like the storylines that we thought we were gonna get, they didn't get. They didn't play into the storylines that should have been played into. But I'm gonna say this: the two low spots for the Rumble for me. I'll let you go on a tangent with one of them because we know what one of
Hmm.
them is.
Yep,
But the one that I'll speak on was Joe Hendry.
I agree.
I feel that he would have got a better reception from the crowd. I feel that the crowd reaction would have been bigger had he been number one.
Yeah,
If he would have been number one, like the crowd would have like lost their shit. Because
and
when his music hit, because I think he was like 13 or something like that when he came out, he was kind of like lost in the shuffle, and they didn't even make a big deal out of him being like the TNA champion. And then as soon as Roman Reigns came in, it was like, okay, little boys, like game's over, the big dog's here, and then Roman Reigns threw him out. I was And I mean, I hate to be that guy to say that, but when it comes to like wrestling, when it comes to like star power, larger than life characters, if you were only going to have one TNA wrestler, I get he's the champion. But if you were only going to have one TNA wrestler make an appearance, it should have been Moose, not Joe Hendry. Mm.
I will say this, and this is I say this what same thing I said with NXT. I'll repeat it for TNA. I get you're just doing this like, oh, you have a partnership. If you were going to use somebody from TNA, let them win the Rumble. You could set up
Yeah.
something absolutely amazing with a crossover WrestleMania of
Yeah.
TNA wrestlers versus WWE wrestlers, something that's never been done before. Not only do you elevate TNA in the partnership, but you have something unpredictable and something fresh, something that AEW try to do with Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
If
Or at
you're
least or at
going,
least make him final three.
yes, like you're not helping TNA by just treating their talent like complete, not jobbers, but you're not
They're
giving
like
them
special
the,
guests.
yeah, your cameos. They're just basic
Yeah.
cameos. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, Joe Henry's here, toss out, bye. That's their world champion.
Yeah,
Let
exactly.
him be in the final four.
Mm-hmm.
That shows trust. And this is what people, not to go off the tracks, but this is what people who are TNA fans are afraid of with this partnership. Is
Yeah.
this is just WWE's way of poaching who they want
Or
to stay
burying their
close and
talent.
have conversations with talent legally because they have a partnership. They can
Mm-hmm.
ask about, hey, so how long is your contract?
Mm-hmm.
You do that. You can do that contract interference without having to worry because you're in a partnership. That person's at NXT. Yo, just real quick, when is your contract ending?
Mm-hmm.
I bet we'll come and get you after these X months once your time is done.
I mean, well, they already did it with Jordan Grace, but
Yeah.
the visual is also important. Like, and I hate to use this as an example because I like her. Like TNA, when it comes to the women, TNA didn't send Tasha Steeles.
Mm.
They sent Jordan Grace because Jordan Grace and Jordan Grace isn't she's not the champion, but and although she just signed with WWE, they were still referring to her as a TNA wrestler. So the visual is important. When Joe Hendry comes out, although he's the TNA heavyweight champion, from a visual standpoint, would it make more sense to have Joe Hendry be in the final four or Moose? When the ring is filled up with Roman Reigns, John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, visually, would you rather Joe Hendry or Moose?
If we're going from actual physicality, who's going to be able to take them down? Moose, obviously,
Yeah,
with the spear and his
yeah,
moves, that you're going to go with somebody like Moose. But I get why they're doing it because obviously he's the TNA champion. We already know once his contract's up, he's WWE bound. This is another reason why when they was like, yo, give him the belt, I'm like, you're going to give him the belt just for him to leave.
yeah.
He's going to leave WWE
Well, they're
eventually.
gonna
I mean,
squeeze
he's
all
going to
the
leave
juice
for
out of that.
WWE
Yeah,
eventually.
they're gonna squeeze all the juice out of that lemon that they can get.
Yeah. So it's like you should have, like you said, you maybe could have sent somebody, the X Division champ. You could have sent somebody
Well,
else.
Moose is the X Division champion.
Moose. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You could have sent your X Division champ. You could have sent someone besides your world champion just to be fed to Roman Reigns, to be tossed out. Or like Jerrell suggested, should have made him number one. And then let him go to when Reigns comes out. That way he had enough
Yeah, he had a
longevity
nice
and
run.
time in there. And then he's like, okay, you could just say he was exhausted, he was tired, because he was only there for like what 5, 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Then Reigns came out, tossed him
Yeah.
out, and I was just like, why did you show up? And this would transition to my section because this is a problem I still have with the Rumble. Especially, we can argue too when it comes to the men. Like we give the women a pass because they don't the chart depth is not as in depth as the men.
Yeah.
But you could have used Karrion Cross instead of Joe Henry.
Mhm.
Someone who's in the company. And I love Joe Henry. I've watched his career in the Indies and everything else. The man deserves everything he's getting. But for if we're talking about the company and people who are there and they have involving storylines in there, you need to use those people who are there.
Yeah.
Doing this fake out with Akira Tozawa for I think it was number 8 or something.
Like so,
Him
yeah.
and Carmelo taking them out, and then they're going backstage and they're like, "Hey, Speed, go out there." And Des sees my face because Des was already. If you watch UWL, this is how me and Des really are in real life. When Des eggs me on, and I'm like, yes. So Des already is hinting at me. He's like, yo, so he's been trolling me all night. He's like, yo, so what if they have like a streamer show up in the Rumble? You gonna be tight? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be freaking tight because they don't belong there.
Mhm.
And this is not me hating on streamers. I'm not hating. I'm happy for all these people's success. That whatever, however you get it is however you get it. I'm talking from a wrestling fan perspective, and I'm gonna be a smart right now. I get from a business. I'm gonna be devil's advocate with my own self. On one hand, I understand why WWE, AEW does it too because I forgot who they had. Um, some viral sensation, the father and the son. I forgot who they are. Um, I'm not on social media like that, people. So I'm sorry. I get what you do, why you go outside. You get the celebrities, you get the streamers, you get the influencers. It's a great way to target a demographic and you get more eyes on a product. I 100% understand why he was there, why you had him streaming backstage. I understand that. I get it. What I don't understand is why you can't utilize these people and just keep them out of the ring.
Out of the ring. Yeah.
Speed had no business being in the Rumble.
Yeah.
That spot could have been carrying across. That spot could have been Uncle Howdy's. Yeah, we know they wouldn't won the Rumble, but it could have set up other storylines. It could have
With
set up
Apollo
other
Crews.
interactions. And this is why I don't like when even Joe Henry was there. I was just like, okay, we know he's not winning. It's a nice cameo. I get it. You got a partnership with TNA, but that could have been another spot from someone who probably could have needed it.
Yeah.
And I get why they have the streamers. My views on stream. This is not about my view on streaming and Instagram, social media influencers. Yes, because they have their place. I'm not hating. I just feel like if you wanted to use him as a backstage personality, interviewing people,
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
things like that, or taking elements from his stream and showing, hey, this is Speedy backstage. I'm here with CM Punk. Punk, you're getting ready for the Rumble. Use him for what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Logan Paul's an exception. He's actually wrestling. He has contract. He's proven himself in his in-ring
But
ability
his
that
influence,
he can go.
well, him being an influencer is based on athleticism.
Yes.
like like I show speed, his influence isms is based on him interviewing people.
Yes.
So, like you said, just have him interview people because that's what that's what he does.
And don't get me wrong, people are like, "Yo, the spot was fire." Yeah, the spear was brutal. It was beautiful to see, but same time, like that's just regurgitated.
Actually, I actually laugh. Like I when I saw the whole thing unfolding, I rolled my eyes.
Hmm.
But I did laugh when Triple H was like, I show speed, get out there, you win the Rumble. And then he looked at me, he's like, what you mean? Like that part, because I actually laughed at that because if I was a celebrity influencer and I was just there backstage just to live stream, and then he like that would have been my general. I'm like, what the, that would have been my legit like general like reaction. So I mean, it was Akira Tozawa's spot either. So I guess that's what kept me from like taking it personal and getting angry at it.
Yeah,
You know what
but
I'm
at
saying?
the same time, why was Akira even in the Rumble?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
That's too. It's just like,
yeah, that could have been Apollo Crews, but they
well, he's
but
hurt.
they
He's
did
injured.
it in a way where when Akira Tozawa got beat up and they were just like, well, we got to find somebody to replace him. They threw him in there. Part of me was like, well, fuck it. It was Akira Tozawa anyway. So that kind of it kind of like filtered like
Okay,
filtered it for
I,
me.
I'll match you this better. Where the fuck was Kofi?
Oh yeah.
This is his. This is his thing. He
Well,
even
now,
posted it
well,
recently. He
now,
was just like, "How am I not at the Royal Rumble?"
well, it's Logan Paul's thing now. They've
It's
taken
just
it from
like,
Kofi and given it to Logan
you
Paul.
had speed, but you don't have Kingston. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's like,
Yeah.
I understand WWE's need and constant need, and that's always been Vince's mentality of being beyond what we are, which is a wrestling company. That mentality stays even with Triple H. I get it. It is a major conglomerate corporation. Speed has his moment. Yes, it was funny, but at the same time, there's so many guys that were left out. This, like I said, this is smart Justin right now. There's so many guys left out of this Rumble. You could have had Creed. Excuse me, I'm calling him by his real name. You could have had Xavier Woods. You could have had Kingston. You could have had Karrion Cross. You could have
Yeah.
had somebody from the White Six. I mean, there is so many other people. Could you imagine if Kingston or one of the New Day came out there?
Yeah.
Everybody just stops and beats their ass
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
the Big E.
Yeah.
You know the pop that would have got.
Or the New Day sucks chance.
Yes, but instead we got this.
Carlito. What happened to Carlito?
Yes, Judgment Day. We only had Finn.
Yeah.
We know
Well,
JD's hurt,
well, we
but
had well, we had Dominic Mysterio.
yeah, we had Dominic. We had, yeah. Okay, so but my everybody, you get where my point is going with this. It's just like, yes, it's a moment, and that's the problem. It's just a moment. That's something that's gonna be played for a couple of weeks. WWE got their viral hits. They got their little headline, but
It was
then we go
false.
back to, yeah, but then we go back to business. And honestly, kind of understand why Corey Graves, even whether it's a work or not, why Corey Graves is pissed. How the hell was Graves not at this Royal Rumble?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Wade Barrett, but that should be
Boom.
Corey Graves.
I, like
Like,
I just needed Corey Graves to sit at the commentary chair, and then for Barrett to walk up to him and be like, Corey Graves, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. I would have died.
but like,
But at least they got, but see, but all the stuff we didn't like, at least they got it out of the way early.
yes,
They
yes,
didn't, like I said, because like the Tozawa thing was like number 7.
yeah. Because
So
if that was towards the end, I would have been legit pissed.
yeah. So it's like it's like let the people who we know for a fact aren't gonna win, and all the joke spots. Let's just do all that shit now.
Yeah,
Like,
credit to them for that.
yeah.
Credit to them for that, because if he would have came out at number 28 and they
Yeah,
did that
yeah.
spot, and it's just like, yo, and I know there's gonna be those smarts or people in the comment section be like, oh, so did you have a problem with Drew Carey in the Royal Rumble? Yeah, I did
Yes.
back in the day. Yes,
Yes.
it was a waste of time, and that's what I hate is when the Rumble wastes time
Yeah.
and wastes a slot when you know there's someone out there who's been busting their ass that could use the spot, even if they're in there for a minute or two. That 1 minute or 2 minute can change the trajectory of their
Yeah.
whole career
Yeah.
if they did something amazing. We can go on and wrap this up and finish talking about the men's rumble. I generally enjoyed myself with this entire pay-per-view. I generally enjoyed the Royal Rumble, besides obviously the obvious spots I feel like should have went to other wrestlers. But I have no issue with Jay winning. Like me and Des was watching it when we got to the final six, and Des was like, "Who you want?" I was like, "Yo, honestly, I don't care."
Yeah.
Like I had
Well,
no issues.
let me hold on. Let me interject something because when Roman was in the ring, and then they brought out Cena, and then they brought out Punk, and then they brought out Rollins. That was done very well.
Yeah.
I also feel like they bullshitted on the 2 minute clock.
Oh yeah, because Rollins came right out.
Yeah, I was like, that's some bullshit on that 2 minute clock. But I like the fact because that was their way of saying, no offense to everybody else, but this is the part where this shit matters now. you
Hmm.
know, and it was so good that when they all came out and it was Roman and it was Seth and it was Punk and it was Cena and Jey Uso was in the ring and Drew McIntyre was already in the ring and AJ Styles was already in the ring. I think I text you and I said, wait a minute, because when Seth came in at 26.
Yeah.
When I looked at everyone that was in the and then whoever put Dominic after them, like kudos for that because that shit was because it's like you gave us like the larger than life, the greatest superstars in the current era, and then here comes Dominic Mysterio. But
Yeah.
but when they had all those guys in the ring, and I looked and I said, wow, this is a collection of some of the best talent in the world of wrestling. I paused and I was like, well, shit, we still got four more people to go. And
Hmm.
I was like, who's left? like, like who? I forgot about Logan Paul. I forgot
LA
about
Knight,
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest, LA Knight,
I forgot
and
about LA Knight. And I was like,
Sami
damn,
Zayn.
like the end, Sami Zayn. So I'm like, y'all gave us the best and added to it and found a way to add to it. It wasn't like we've capped at Seth Rollins and the last four people is trash. It was like, damn, the last four people belong in here too.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, I don't care who wins because, and this is what failed with the women's final four. Everyone in that last, those last eight, I would say, hell, the last eight guys, Drew and all of them,
Mhm.
they all have a story.
Yeah. Yep.
They all had a story.
Yep.
Unlike the women's rumble, like only one person truly you can make it kind of like a story out of it, and you like a couple of people, but you threw them out through Nia Jax.
Yeah.
So you threw
Only
all your story out and just made this new one. But that's we
the
done talking
only
about that.
the
But
only story well the only the honestly like if we're just keeping it 100% real, the only actual story that tied into anything previously, the only real story that they touched on in the women's rumble was Ivy Nile going after Lyra Valkyria.
yeah,
That was the only story. And then when she threw her out, because and this is how you know she's not going to win. When she threw her out, she looked at Lyra and said, "Yeah, I'm coming for the title." I said, "Well,
yeah,
thank God." I said, "Well, thank God. At least we have a story somewhere."
100%
Yeah.
correct. But I mean, for me, I didn't care. Jay Uso winning. I'm seeing people. I mean, people were legit pissed. I was just like, honestly, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
It would have
Yeah.
been very predictable if Cena won.
Yeah.
Um,
And I didn't want that.
I didn't want that either. Like John can get it at SummerSlam,
I don't think
or
he's gonna get it at
Survivor,
all.
or not get it at all,
I don't
or
think he's gonna get it.
you just have your last final matches. Because we already know Charlotte's gonna be 17 first. Um, but I like how they did Rollins, Punk, and Reigns in that stomp on Reigns. It looked like he did two,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he literally just did 2 feet. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
The
Just
double
stomped him was
foot.
just like jumped on his neck. I was like,
Yeah.
God damn. And it was like, Seth is turning heel. I was like, I don't think this is a heel turn. This dude is just pissed
Yeah.
off.
That's just personal.
He's just
Like,
pissed off with both. He has legit beef. Not like Jerrell said earlier. Not everything's a heel turn.
yeah.
Like these characters have legit beef with people. Like it's
I,
not
hell, I wouldn't mind Bianca versus Jordan Grace. you
man.
know,
Like I said, there's
we're not gonna get it, but
elements in there. Like you said, that's a dream match as well. But Jay winning, oh, this is gonna be whack because he already lost to Gunther. There's a story there
yeah,
already.
that's exactly why it makes sense,
There's
and
a
why he shouldn't
story
pick,
there. He
and why
lost
he
three
shouldn't
times
pick
to
Cody.
Gunther already.
Like it makes and honestly, Gunther kind of like low key spoiled it because when they interviewed Gunther prior to the Rumble and they said, "What are your thoughts about whoever wins tonight?" Gunther actually said verbatim. He said, "Well, I know whoever wins the Royal Rumble is gonna choose Cody Rhodes because he's the poster child and nobody can take this belt from me anyway." So the fact that he came out his mouth and said whoever wins is gonna pick Cody, I was like, you basically just told us without telling us whoever wins is gonna pick you.
Yeah, they try to do that red herring.
Yeah, and and I didn't pick up on it when he said it, and then when Jay Uso won, I was like, oh.
Yeah, because Jay Uso versus Cody doesn't really make any sense.
I mean,
Jay Uso versus Gunther makes sense because
yeah.
of the history.
I mean, it's not even that Jey Uso versus Cody doesn't make sense. He ain't gonna beat you. Ain't beating Cody.
Like you beat Gunther.
Like if you want Jey Uso to have a chance to become world heavyweight champion, you are not getting that chance against Cody Rhodes. And even me, like I picked CM Punk to win the Royal Rumble because I thought we were going to get CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, which we can still get. But even though I picked CM Punk to win the Royal Rumble, I was telling people Punk's going to win the Rumble. He's going to challenge Cody, but he's not going to beat Cody. Cody's not losing the belt at WrestleMania.
No.
Like Cody's not going to lose that belt. So Jey Uso's only hope, Jey Uso's only hope is Gunther. And from this point on, Gunther needs to beat the living shit out of every single person he gets in the ring with from now until Mania.
Yeah, you gotta keep
Like
him super
everybody.
strong.
Like he needs to have a match with Jimmy Uso. Like he needs to have a match with Sami Zayn. Like he needs to plow the road from now until then. And I think at WrestleMania it's gonna be Jimmy Uso versus Shinsuke Nakamura because when Jimmy Uso was doing his walk to the ring when he was talking to the camera, Shinsuke was in the background looking at him, and I feel
Yeah,
like they're gonna have Jimmy take the United States title just so he won't feel bad when his brother becomes world heavyweight
you
champion.
can't. Well, well, speaking of that, we'll end this with the WrestleMania prediction. Just based off of what you saw last night, who do you think they're going to be pairing up with card wise?
Well, so it's well for Elimination Chamber, it's gonna be Roman, Cena, Punk. It's gonna basically be all the big names
Yeah, McIntyre.
and McIntyre. I don't understand. I don't understand the purpose of the favor. And the reason why, because you can make the argument if Jey Uso picks Gunther, that's the Raw champion. That means the SmackDown roster needs to compete in the chamber to fight Cody.
Yeah,
Punk's not on the SmackDown roster. Drew McIntyre is not on the SmackDown roster. So unless his favor is, although I'm not a member of SmackDown, get me on the SmackDown so I can compete in the Elimination Chamber. If we're being really honest about the favor, Paul Heyman doesn't have the juice to actually do anything for him.
yeah.
So to me, the favor is only going to be in my corner at WrestleMania and help me screw Cody Rhodes over for the title. We're getting Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu.
That's for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna get. I got Jimmy Uso versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Bianca and Naomi are gonna fight Liv and Raquel for the tag title. Well, maybe it'll be a fatal four way. They'll probably throw in the Meta Girls, Jakara and Lash. So we might get like we'll probably get like a multi-woman match for the women's tag team titles, and
Hmm.
Jade's gonna interfere and cost Bianca and Naomi the tag team titles. Uh, I don't know what well, I think the New Day takes the belts off of the War Raiders because with everything going on with the New Day, you got to put the belts on them at some point.
Yeah,
Chelsea Green loses the United States Championship at WrestleMania. Lyra Valkyria retains the Women's Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Cody goes on to WrestleMania and fights CM Punk and beats CM Punk.
me,
Uh,
I'm.
and Sami Zayn fights Drew McIntyre and finally beats him.
I was thinking that too, but I'm thinking maybe they're. I'm thinking they might probably do a multi-man match at Mania for that belt, or have a triple threat, maybe at
Cody's
Elimination Chamber between Punk, Rollins, and Reigns to get that out the way. Um, I'm hoping we're going to see Punk and Cody.
Yeah.
Hoping. Um, I'm thinking we're gonna get Rhea and I don't think it's gonna be Rhea and Nia.
Rhea's the
Uh,
only wild card for me. Like I have no
yeah,
idea who she's gonna fight.
either a returning Becky, Bailey, or somehow they wrap up the Jade storyline by Elimination Chamber, or find some way to get Bianca by herself to face Rhea because Rhea wants Bianca at WrestleMania anyway. She said that in multiple interviews.
Yeah.
That
But the only way she's gonna get that is they got to lose the tag titles.
yeah, which I
But then,
think
see,
that
but
that's
then,
gonna happen.
yeah, but then if they lose the tag titles and Jade costs them the tag titles, why would Bianca not try to get like payback for that?
That's the thing too. So I Rhea, like you said, is a wild card. We already know it's gonna be Tiff and Charlotte, and we already know that Charlotte might have to just main event it because they're probably gonna give her the main event because she didn't main event 39 because of Austin and Kevin Owens. So they're probably just going to give her night one for sure.
That's not a main event
Um,
match though.
Definitely going to be a multi-man tag match for those titles. I will say,
Hold on. Time out
mhm,
though. Think about what you just said. If we're getting main event Jey Uso versus Gunther
mhm.
and Charlotte versus Tiffany, and we get CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, all three of y'all can't main event.
Jay will open.
You think they so because he won the Royal Rumble,
It's
it's
been
okay.
they did it before. Royal Rumble winners. This is why I hate when they keep advertising it. Like, oh, you're going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Sometimes they don't main event
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
sometimes they don't
Sometimes
main event
they
WrestleMania.
literally open the damn show.
But he can't open he you can't open the show if your name is main event Jey Uso.
That's true, but
Char-
I
Charlotte and Tiffany is not like for all Charlotte's backstage, I get whatever I want cards.
yeah.
If I'm Triple H and you're Charlotte Flair and you come to me and you're like, I'm Charlotte Flair, I'm making my return, damn it. I want to win the women's Royal Rumble. Okay, check. I want to face Tiffany Stratton and take the belt off her. Check. I want a main event. Hold up. Like I'm already giving you everything you want. You can't have everything.
I wouldn't put it past them at this point. Um, and this is just because I know they're gonna do something with Charlotte. Um, I wouldn't put it past it because the women only main evented it once. So, and it's no
Well, twice.
twice. I forgot about Sasha, and Bianca.
Wow.
But there's so many people that are main event worthy. So I don't know how it's gonna go, but I know somehow they're gonna do something with Charlotte that she's the headliner of something. If it's not gonna be WrestleMania, she's gonna headline SummerSlam or something because
You can have it.
yeah, SummerSlam. But
She
I
does
honestly think it's probably gonna be. I want them. They have to do Drew justice because his run this year and last year, this 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 story that Drew's been telling has just been the best I've seen in WWE in a long time. They got to give this man either reigns or something. He needs a major spot at WrestleMania. New Day, I can see that. The DIY, that's gonna be a triple threat with the Street Profits
Yeah.
and more the Machine Guns. That's definitely gonna be WrestleMania worthy. And War Raiders, I can see that as a multi tag as well. I think honestly, Bianca and Naomi are gonna drop it at Elimination Chamber to live. That gives Bianca the freedom to do what she has to do. And maybe Naomi goes after either the US or Intercontinental title.
So then
Um
who does Liv and Raquel face at
Defend
Mania?
again, that I don't know. That will probably be having them journey to NXT or maybe that I want to
Well,
know.
I mean, they could well, I mean, there's
Or if Alexa goes back to her Fiend way, she teams up with Nikki Cross and they challenge for the titles.
good point. That's a good one. She would yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good one. I mean,
since they
I still like a fatal four way for the women's tag belts with the Meta Girls winning, but that's just me.
yeah, but I honestly see them dropping it at Elimination Chamber
Mhm.
because because right now, like you said, Rhea is such a wild card. We don't know who they're building up Rhea for.
Yeah.
The only logical choice would be either Jordan Grace or Bianca Belair. That's the only two people I could see like legit be like, yeah, this is WrestleMania worthy caliber match. Just from a physical physicality standpoint.
Yeah. Now,
Of
does Bianca win if that happens?
Nah, I don't think so.
Hmm.
Unless she turns heel.
Okay.
Unless she turns heel during that match, where because I'm dying to see heel Bianca again because she was
Yeah.
awesome
Yeah. With the
heel in
lips, with the
NXT.
lip smacking and everything
Yeah,
in NXT.
she was like the Sasha's Ratchet
Yeah.
2.0.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you could tell like she could be more free and
Yeah.
more less constrained of being like the person that everybody really admires and
Yeah.
you know,
It's hard. Like turning her one. Everything that you just said depends on the Jade factor.
yeah,
Two, Bianca does have the Cena problem in the sense of
yeah,
this woman is always on social media posting videos at children's high schools and kids'
yeah.
hospitals. And I'm like, you can't boo this woman. You
But
can't.
you could turn. I mean, Jade's been heel. Like Jade is a
And
natural
no,
heel.
but a baby face Jade Cargill doesn't work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's like Jade's a natural heel.
That's why
So
I feel like the right thing to do is have Jade turn on Bianca and Naomi and have her team up with the Meta Girls and start a new stable.
yeah, because Naomi is also a natural baby face.
Yeah,
So it's like you said, you also have that Cena problem where Bianca has reached that level
yeah,
where she makes so much wishes, does so
yeah.
much charity work, so much
Got
being
the
the face
charity
of the
problem.
yeah, and being that women's division, turning her heel will have advertisers going, "Hey man, like we still need you for this."
Yeah.
That's when you just kind of like, but kayfabe is dead anyway, so it's
Still,
kind of
it's still
like,
alive. It's still alive for me, damn it.
yeah,
And I mean,
it's
and even for kids, because like the whole thing with the charity, it's about the kids.
yeah,
Not all the children understand kayfabe.
true.
Like if this girl turns on Naomi and starts cursing out people, and then she goes to a children's hospital, the kids are gonna be like, "Why did you do that?" And
Yeah,
what's she
you're
gonna
100%
say?
correct.
What's she gonna say? Mind your business.
That'll be
Like
real healing.
yeah, like you can't go around mushing children. Like
You'll have to break kayfabe. It's like, look, I'm just playing a character. I'm not really
yeah, and
like
it's like
that.
and it's
Breaks
like
the illusion.
you don't want to do that.
But
Like
we're gonna wrap this up.
yeah.
With our final thoughts. For me, I'll go first with this one. I really did enjoy the Royal Rumble. There's like my pros. Obviously, the in-ring work was great. The card, the build-up was great. Some really cool spots. My cons, obviously, is what I complain about every year is that certain people shouldn't be even in the Rumble,
Mhm.
and people who actually have. I think the Rumble should be also used as a story device. If you have a legit story, you should be in the Rumble to further your story, your narrative, even if whether you're quote unquote mid Carter, low tier, hell, even if you're the freaking speed champion like Candice LeRae, people are like, why was she in there? She has a story with Nia Jax.
Yeah,
She deserves to be in the Rumble.
yeah, which
You
played out
know,
perfectly.
yeah, it works.
I mean, for
I
me, like I said, always on Red Eyes Entertainment, when we review something, we either give it a yay, we give it an okay, or in the words of the immortal Thor, we say the nay. And for this particular Royal Rumble, I'm going to give it a high okay. And
okay.
I'm gonna because as much as I enjoyed the Women's Rumble, the ending severely ruined it for me. The tag match wasn't it was like you said, it was like a down spot for me. I knew Cody was winning. So it was just like it was like good moments, good matches, but bad outcomes.
Hmm.
But Jey Uso winning actually like kind of like it saved it more, it elevated it a little bit more. So like I said, I give it a high okay. Like it's not like I would go back and watch the women's rumble, and then once Nia Jax eliminates all 12 people, then I'm like, all right, we're done. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad.
No.
It definitely wasn't bad. So
Well, I'm gonna borrow his rating system, and I'm actually gonna give this one a yay.
yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, my issue was just like Jerrell, the ending of the women's rumble. I think really hurt it. Um, I honestly would have preferred if she won the Elimination Chamber instead of the Royal Rumble. I think that
Yeah,
would have softened the blow for a lot of
yeah,
people if
agreed.
they would have just let someone else win the Rumble and her winning the Chamber. I don't think it would have been such of an outrage as it is now. Because like at least within the chamber, you really earning it because you
Yeah.
got to go through. But the Rumble's just kind of like, yeah, I'm just tossing everybody out. And the fact that you took forever to come down, you even had to, you didn't run. Your music was still playing when we were off camera. I'm like, God damn, where is she?
She said in the backstage interview, she said that she couldn't get her robe off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and speaking of wardrobe malfunctions, Lyra Valkyria.
Liv saved her ass by
Yeah,
pushing her over there.
yeah,
That was a
yeah.
smart move by Liv. Everybody's like, yo, Liv is being a heel. I was like, no, Liv is protecting her. Pushed
Yeah,
her over there so the cameraman can pan away from her.
yeah,
That's why
yeah.
all the girls went over there so she could get fixed up.
Like
Because
the wig,
we
yeah,
would
the
have saw
wings were
some,
almost on full display.
yeah, we would have saw the Tatas and shout out to Liv Morgan to be in that ring awareness. Is like, yo, get over there, get
Yeah,
fixed
yeah,
up,
yeah. And then
cameraman.
come
All the
back.
girls move over here. So while she's off camera, because you saw I forgot the wrestler's name. I think it's Elite, not Alicia, the sister that's a referee. She ran over there,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she ran
I
over
thought she was
there.
going to give her a T-shirt or
No,
something.
no, she ran over there and she fixed it because I guess the guy was having issues with it. So she was like, I know how to do it. So he
Yeah,
fixed
yeah.
her up. And yeah, because there would have been, whew, that would have been a Royal Rumble moment,
Well,
but not the
you
one
know,
that we
you
wanted.
know how during her entrance everybody goes woo.
Yeah, that would have been a Royal Rumble moment for sure. But unlike Mae Young Royal Rumble moment, we don't need to see that.
Yeah.
This kid's there. But I mean, overall, I did enjoy it. It was a fun Rumble. It was very unpredictable. I liked the build. Payoffs were hit or miss, but I had fun with it. So I'm gonna give it a yay. If you have a WWE Network subscription, is this something I will watch again? Yeah. I'm just not gonna watch the ending of the women's one, but
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else, yeah, I'll watch again.
Of
All
course.
right, so we're gonna wrap this up. This is Justin from otakusandgeeks.com, and Jerrell will sign us out. If you like what we do here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you're watching this on Jerrell's channel, you could he's with us on the Tacos and Geeks as well, so you can head over and check out us out as well. We do a weekly for our WWE fans. We do a weekly creative wrestler only show called UWL Saturday Night Slam and Uprising. Icon is on there. I mean, looks familiar. For those who are watching it on our channel, and you're probably wondering, like, this guy looks like Icon. I hate to break the fourth wall. So yeah, he created a guy. So
Not
that's
that
all I'm gonna say about that.
hard.
Gerard, go ahead.
Definitely. Yeah, so definitely go on Tacos and Geek, check out the UWL because like I said, I'm in it and I'm in it to win it. For Red Eyes Entertainment, right now we're still reviewing Harley Quinn as we await for Daredevil Born Again. We also got that Captain America coming out on Valentine's Day. And now that I found out we're not gonna get Peacemaker until September, we'll see. We'll see what the Gundam has in store for us as we continue to roll on for some more goodness. Also, check out, I might do a review for NXT Vengeance Day because I know that's coming up as well. But the next wrestling pay-per-view review will be the Elimination Chamber. And we'll talk about that for all you wrestling fans as we conclude the road to WrestleMania.
All right, folks. Later days.